Good afternoon. It's awesome to be back here at Tech Hub Live again, second year, right? So last year we were here as well and gave a quick update on where we're at with our satellite constellation and whatnot. Last year we were Geosys, an Earth Daily company, and this year we're here as Earth Daily Agro. So we've rebranded. Lots of things have progressed, lots of things have changed. Progress on our constellation, our platform, our brand, and our business. So what I want to talk to you about today is just a little bit of an update, a little bit of an addition to what Stephanie was talking about from Planet regarding supply chain, some of the challenges that are going on, but a real world example of the help that we're providing some farmers in Ukraine. So again, most of you understand this. I mean, Geosys, prior to Earth Daily Agro, we've been working on satellite imagery-based solutions and insights for farmers for almost 35 years. So it's definitely evolved over those years. And you know, I'm a farm kid from southern Minnesota, so I understand the kinds of decisions that farmers make and agronomists make, you know, up to 10, 20, 30 decisions during the year. And we do use Earth observation satellite imagery to help with some of those decisions. And I think we are increasing the value of those decisions, and that's what I'm kind of also here to show you today what's coming in the future for us. We work from a regional or global scale to global crop monitoring. So we publish reports every other week that really show the global food supply and some of the risks and some of the places where there will be some challenges. But also working on benchmarking farms at the farm level and also sub-farm or sub-field level with precision ag kind of solutions. I'm not going to talk as much about this. Again, I thought Stephanie did a nice job of highlighting some of the things around, you know, the sort of global food supply, the food security issues we have. This is just really to demonstrate, it's hard to read, but really there's lots of things that are factors in global food supply and security. You know, we think we can help with some of these, you know, some of the blue dots here, things like farm management, diseases and pests, carbon, these types of things. So, you know, it's a big problem. This is really something that takes more than just one company or one more team to solve. I don't think we can, you know, overstate the impact of the war in Ukraine. We have employees there. We have employees that have family there. This is really something that's quite personal to me, especially as somebody that grew up on a farm. This whole ag community, farm community, you know, everybody wants to help. I'm sure many of you have seen some of the recent photos of the farmers that are harvesting their wheat crop ahead of the burning of the crop that was ignited. So these are people who are taking a lot of risk just to grow food and to feed the world. So we're working with a partner, technology partner called AgriLabs. They're a customer, actually turned supplier for this year because we're actually paying them to help us with some data and actually helping with them to establish their services. So we work with roughly about 100 farms right now in Ukraine, providing our services. And again, most of them are, a lot of them are here on the eastern side of Ukraine, which is more the war-torn areas. So these are people out there literally risking their lives with very limited resources, limited fuel, limited nitrogen to really grow and provide food, really more for local use. Just to make it real, these are some of the farmers that we're working with. Just, you know, they're real people, you know, and actually the farmland in Ukraine, it looks a lot like here in the Midwest. You know, it's advanced farming, it's technology, people really doing an awesome job of farming and able to consume and use the technology. So again, we're not just working with the big farmers. Again, we've got about 90 or so farmers that we're working with, but they range from huge farms to also the smaller, like, you know, 100, 200 acre type farmers. So that, yeah, these are the folks that we're helping. Real simple map. Most of you understand what an NDVI map is. Again, this is from a winter wheat field earlier this spring in Ukraine. Again, it's really not understood too well why the red zones are red and have limited growth, and the green zones are definitely more healthy. It looks like the roots are pretty good, so I'm guessing here it might be maybe some fertility issues, I'm not sure. But again, these are the types of maps that we're making available. Roughly about 4 million acres, I think, is what we have pushed out right now. And again, it's not a function of farmers needing to make decisions because, like my brothers, they're complaining about how expensive fuel is, how expensive nitrogen is. These guys don't have it, right? The Russians basically blew up every gas station they could get their sights on. So every trip across a field really has to make a difference. So that's the kind of services that we're doing, and we hope to establish some long-term relationships there because of that. So at Earth Daily Agro, we talk a lot about going from maps to math. And what does that really mean? As you look at this sort of little movie, this is really a movie of a field instead of sort of more discrete snapshots. So the history here, prior to some of the constellations that are here and coming is, these discrete shots. So these shots here are Landsat and Sentinel kind of shots that come, roughly every, say, 5, 10, 15 days, depending on clouds. And then there's this modeling that's going on with the blue line. That's actually the NDVI curve, if you want to call it the NDVI footprint for that field over 3 different seasons. So what we do now is we basically fuse the images with some different types of imagery and create sort of a model of what that looks like. And that's still a discrete data set, but with some modeling and some error built into it. So how do we go from a continuous data or a discrete data set to something that's more continuous? And what does that mean? I'm not a data scientist, I'm not a mathematician, I'm just sort of an agronomist and a plant breeder. But what the data scientists tell me is if I can get real data that's a real continuous data set, that allows a whole different type of math. And it's going to have higher value and higher value insights. So that's what we're after. So how are we going to do that? How do we turn that blue sort of modeled NDVI curve, which is still valuable, but how do we make it even more valuable, and how do we make that become reality? So this is where the future is going for us. So next year, at the end of next year, we'll start launching a new constellation. It's called Earth Daily Constellation. It will be 10 satellites. 9 will be the core constellation with 1 spare, 22 spectral bands. So we'll have basically all the bands that Sentinel-2 has, all the same kind of footprint of that, plus some additional bands like thermal and others that will allow us to go into other market segments as well as agriculture. It's sun synchronous, as you can see. It's basically push broom. So this is a very scientific mission. The radiometry and geometry are very reliable, so you know exactly what pixel is where, and it's there every time. So this is really how we're creating our analytics-ready data, and this is how we're going to be bringing more value to agriculture with additional, insights, but also a data set that really doesn't exist today. So that's really what I wanted to give you a quick update on. Maybe one more slide about the value. Don't worry about the small words here, but we work in precision ag, commodities, fintech, sustainability across all those various market segments. But think about the words that are bolded, like automated, new, enhanced, accurate, proactive, scalable. These are all the types of things that we're bringing on top of the current analytics that we do today. So when we superpower it with this type of data, it'll make all of these insights that much more valuable. So we're here, we're in a meeting room in 105. I think I made the deadline there. So if you want to chat more about what the future looks like with Earth Daily Agro, come and talk to us. So thank you for your time.